Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Gaming with Shoggoths. We're starting off here with a cool prefab that's available in Prehistoric Kingdom, and we are going to make a Smilodon Sanctuary today. And in addition to making the Smilodon enclosure, we're also going to take a closer look at the Smilodons since we didn't get to preview them in my species preview when Early Access first came out. So we will take a closer look at them than normal. I think we take a nice 10-minute look at the enclosure and the different skins in this particular episode. And I will do the same thing in the future with the woolly rhinos, which I believe I'm going to do next. That way you can see those guys too, since we didn't get to see them in the first early access video that I did. So basically right here, I'm just making kind of like a shaded area, a tunnel sort of, to just put up against this prefab, kind of add a little to it. Like, I just felt like having that big brick area, it needed something to break it up. As far as this enclosure goes, what I'm doing here, I just put the fence down so I can have an idea, a barrier, an idea of where everything is going. And then I'm eventually going to cover up most of it with rocks, so you're not even you wouldn't even know a fence was there if you hadn't seen it. But it's just like that so that I have an idea of where everything's going. So what I wanted to do right here is kind of make a land bridge with the rocks, and it actually worked out really well. As long as you make the water deep enough on either side of a land bridge like that, that the creature doesn't want to go into the water because it's too deep, then they will only traverse that land bridge. And I wanted that so that way they would always walk to that underground viewing area in the viewing building. So that I just messed with it until the water is deep enough that it didn't want to jump into the water immediately. And then right here I'm just making them kind of like a pride rock sort of thing, an area to chill out. There's going to be plenty of food, hay for them to lie in, grass, trees, shade, all that kind of stuff. That's all the stuff that I will eventually add into it. And I wanted to have a little rock bridge kind of thing. I mean, they don't go up there. You can put them up there though. I did find that out, but there's nothing, it's not climbable for them. I mean, I'm sure you could make it climbable. You would just have to angle things, but I don't want Smilodons up there. It's too close to that back fence. Especially once I put the rocks there, they would theoretically in the real world have no problems getting out, I'm sure. Now what I'm using right here, this is actually the tree brush. For those of you who are new to Prehistoric Kingdom, if you put the tree brush down to the smallest size and the smallest intensity, you can do individual trees that way. You can also pick individual trees from the modular menu, but if you're doing both individual and brushes at the same time, it's really nice to be able to just switch back and forth using the sliding scale instead of going between menus and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I mean, this enclosure, it was fairly, it's fairly straightforward, simple to make. It's honestly, I spent more time decorating it with leaves or with trees and stuff like that than I did actually building, the rest of it. But I love rocks, trees. I mean, if you've been watching me do Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2, I'm always talking about trees and rocks. Love trees and rocks. Big trees and rocks fan. So you will always see that kind of stuff in my builds. I've got a Smilodon scooting around over there. I really wanted to put these trees in there for scratching posts for the big kitties, and it would be really cool if we could see them jumping on that log that I have across the pond back there. They do come and hang out in this cavern a lot. I've noticed it wasn't so much with beta. Or not, yeah, with beta, this didn't happen so much, but in early access, I've noticed that they really do kind of migrate from one feeder to another, and they walk back and forth between feeder areas and stuff like that. So if you spread out your feeders really well, with all their new animations and everything, like they do seem to travel amongst them, so you kind of get like natural like movement patterns in there, which is really cool. That's basically me deciding that none of the decorating I wanted to do looked okay in my eyes. Look at how many guests are there. It's so like I don't think the guest numbers are quite modulated by the game yet, so like your park's open and it just gets flooded with guests, which it's fine. I'm not complaining, and it's funny. So here I'm making a you know, a log fence that you see a lot like in the previews for Prehistoric Kingdom. Like a lot of the trailers and stuff have this kind of stuff in it. Now so I made one like that, and then I saved it as a prefab, which I highly recommend. It's so great. Not only so that way you don't have to worry about copying it from other places and stuff like that. It's just right there in your menu, but also you can use it later on in other parts of your park. It kind of gives a nice cohesive, like coordinated look, like you have a theme going on in your park, or just even in certain areas. Like I'm thinking about making this like a very temperate area, since that's the environment that I did for the Smilodon, so I could, you know, use these kind of logs and stuff in other enclosures without having to come back and like select everything individually and copy it, or make it again. You know, I can just go pull it out of the menu, plop it on there. It's very convenient. I love it. It's a really great like feature. I know that other like park building stuff like Planet Zoo does that, right? Question mark. I own Planet Zoo and I play it, but I don't play it very much, so I can't really remember. I keep thinking about getting back into it though, so I don't know, maybe you'll see some of that kind of stuff on the channel, but right now I just haven't had a lot of time. But like this little circle planter, you know, it's a very basic planter, but I made a prefab of it, and it's really nice to just be able to plop it down. And, you know, that way, you know, you have kind of like that planter throughout the thing, and it just kind of looks neater and more coordinated and all that kind of stuff. I'm making a couple signs here. There's two species of Smilodon, the Smilodon fatalis and the Smilodon, oh, I forgot what it is. What is it? This, it's funny because I said it like I've said it 100 times, or I've read it 100 times since I started this. Progenitor? No, not progenitor. Well, we'll find out here in a second. I can't believe, like, I just completely... Populator. That's what it is. Like, I was trying to think of population. It's a so we have the Smilodon fatalis, which is a smaller species, and then the Smilodon populator, which is such a strange name. Like, I didn't know. I've only, you know, I just know Smilodons as Smilodons. I don't know, like, their particular, like, subspecies and stuff like that. So I'm going to take the game's word for it that this is on the up and up. These signs are kind of basic. One of these days I'll start putting a little bit more effort into my signs, I promise. I'm hoping that, like, in early access, in future updates, we get some, cool stuff for sign making, more fonts and stuff like that. Like, this font is okay, but I'm not like completely sold on it. But I do actually add a little bit to it later. I just didn't. You know, sometimes when I do small decorations, if it's not something like game changing, I just cut it out, because otherwise these videos would be so long. But here, this is where I kind of make this whole enclosure like a rock enclosure instead of the fenced in area. And I basically just cover it up, and I left the fence here that way I could have a good idea. And it took a while, so I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing. It's just me putting rocks here. But this is basically towards the end, just getting all those last rocks in, filling all the gaps. And then this glass area stays glass, but I just put some logs there to kind of cover up that sort of a curb down there on the bottom, the base of the fence. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so much easier when I could just pull that fencing from my prefabs and not have to worry about making it all over again. It's very nice, very convenient, and I love it. And also, if you're once again, if you're new to Prehistoric Kingdom Early Access, if you select multiple plants when you're using the brush, it will plant like a mix of those plants, and that's what was going on there with the green and the yellow trees. So I had them both selected, and it'll put them down as you brush, which is really nice. Gives it a way more natural like dispersion than if I was to put them down like individually, you know. So it's another little planter. Well, this one's not little, but this is another planter prefab that I've made that'll probably show up in the rest of the park. It will, at the very least, show up on the rest of this thoroughfare, because this is probably going to go all the way down to that river. I keep thinking about maybe trying to make some sort of boat ride. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have a moving boat, but we could have, like, a dock over there. Kind of like, you know, with the Lost World. Is it in the Lost World? I think it's in the Lost World. Really got to watch the movies again. It's been a while. Well, yeah, this is just, you know, just basically decorating and filling in areas over here. There is a, I've added some stuff to the maintenance area in the backstage area, but for right now, it's not like anything worth really showing off. Eventually, I'm going to put like an incubator and all that kind of stuff back there. But I'm going to wait until I do more enclosures in this area and kind of have like a whole backstage area that encompasses like all three. Or 3 or 4. I'm thinking like that the woolly rhino and the woolly mammoth are going to be in this general area too, so perhaps they'll all have one backstage area. And now I'm going to make a little park viewing area kind of a thing. With the way that guests function in this game, they will walk on the path. It's not like in Jurassic World Evolution where if there's no viewing gallery or no restaurant or no whatever, they won't walk over there. So it's really cool that, because I really love building like you can't put dinosaurs and viewing galleries in every inch and every square inch of your park. So I really like having these little nature spots in each, you know, near each enclosure, and it's nice to actually see the guests walking on it. It's very nice to see them enjoying my hard work. But I also did put down some binoculars, because that's the way that in the game that the guests see the dinosaurs in this game. Instead of it being restricted to viewing galleries, it is via those binoculars that you can put in a viewing gallery, or you can just put them along a path. I don't think in Sandbox right now that it counts. It actually counts it, but you know, I'm doing it for to be in the habit of putting that kind of stuff down, but also because it looks good. It looks nice to have those binoculars there for your guests to have like a view of the park. All right, we're gonna head into the walkthrough and showcase right now. All right, it's time for the tour of the Smilodon Sanctuary area. We're viewing it from that little bridge in our entrance area, and we'll come down here. There we go. Oops. And this is our path, our main thoroughfare for the entrance area. Since the Smilodons are in a temperate climate, that's one of their preferred climates is temperate. I kind of made the surrounding area look temperate as well, and I may with further exhibits over here, I may lean towards temperate to kind of keep that theme going in this general area. But if you're really itching to see something right off the bat, you can go through this path area. Got a nice little meadow here. It'd be great if we could have like some ducks or something. That'd be really cool. Sometimes you get duck sound effects, so you know, keep my fingers crossed. But yeah, you'll be able to see some of these guys right off the bat over here. Through here. They love to walk in their food. They do seem to get stuck in it quite a lot, which is a bummer. But yeah, this is kind of like the grassy meadow of their enclosure. Over there, there's actually like a maintenance building back there. We'll go look at that a little bit more. I didn't really put that in the video because I didn't build it. It's a prefab, and I just slapped it over there. And that whole kind of backstage area is still a work in progress. I haven't done too much to it yet. This is our Smilodon Sanctuary. We have the Smilodon Fatalis, the Smilodon Populator. because we didn't get to see them in my preview video, I will, you know, we'll take a little bit of a closer look at them in this video. We've just got a little concession vending machine area here. If you want to get a snack or a drink, apparently you can vend ice cream or burgers from this thing. I don't know what's going on. And only for 99 cents. So, you know what? That's a steal. I just hope those burgers are warm. Okay, so this is the, you know, kind of like a cave ground level view of the Smilodons. This whole bit right here is a prefab. If you didn't see that in the beginning, it is a prefab and I quite like it. It's very nice. This in the upstairs area. This awning area is something that I added on. I felt like it just needed something, you know, some sort of cover or something like that. And, you know, some decoration. But, yeah, so this is a nice kind of viewing area if you want to get up close. They do come and hang out. They like to sleep, like, right in front of this. But, right now, they're just chilling over there. Then, come up here. Once again, this is all part of the prefab up here. Oops, yeah, that didn't work. I was really hoping I could kind of keep the angle. We really do need a first-person mode in this game. So this is the upstairs viewing area. And a kind of nice view of their big rocky... Like, I didn't want to make a cave, but I wanted it to kind of just seem like they were like near a mountain, in a mountain area. You know, like... And the bottom seems cavey. I mean, the bottom is definitely kind of cavey. So we didn't need, like, a big cave over here. And I'm a big fan of bushes and grass and trees and all that stuff. So my enclosures are definitely full of vegetation. Either way, regardless of what kind of animal is in here. They do like to sleep under... Oh, God. Sorry. Autosave really... I imagine it's because of the optimization issues the game has at the moment. The autosave really messes up my game. Alright, so we've got, yeah, they like hanging out around this tree. This is actually, even though they're melding into each other, this is a great, like, comparison between the two models. This smaller one up front is the Fatalis, and then this is the, Populator. Populator is much, much bigger. It's much bigger. Not, like, double the size or anything, but it is noticeably bigger. Okay. So this is Gustavo. So the Vitalis only has this one skin pattern, and I mean, it varies a tiny itty bit between each of them, but there's not much of a difference. And you can see that the one in front, the one right here is a male, kind of the middle of those three, and the slightly smaller one is a female, and then the one with its head in the pumpkin is the... It's the populator. Let's see. So that's Gustavo. Alright, so this is a female, and this is one of the populator skins, the other populator skin. The male and the female skin look pretty much the same. Oh, it's gonna go in the water. They do walk through the water if it's not too deep. So that's a female. That's the other female. Let's get you out of here. There you go. This guy's hiding, but this is the other populator skin. And there's not much variation between the female and the male. Basically, you have two populator skins, one Fatalis skin. Alright, so we'll just kind of look around the enclosure a little bit more now that we've got a little bit better look at the skins for these guys. But, yeah, so this is their kind of one of their shady areas. Come through here. And then we've got, like, a meadow. I would love to see them walking on these trees. I tried to, like, place one there and see if it would let me, but it wouldn't. But I would love to see them walking on that log. But, you know, in my head, that log is there so they can cross over the water if they want and they don't feel like getting wet. And then back here, we've got, you know, a backstage maintenance medical place, you know, or where they all go if they need to put them in there to clean the, you know, to clean or fix something or whatever, or change something here. In the enclosure, this is basically a prefab, and then all I did is I added these bars right here, so it kind of gives it the illusion of there being a gate. So, you know, they'll go in there, and then the gate can be put down. I added some ropes and stuff, because they're cats. They're going to want to play with things, right? So I put, like, some ropes that they could chew on in there. But other than that, like, this is a prefab building, one of the new ones from for early access. This area back here, nothing special going on yet. I'm kind of waiting until I do some other enclosures, and then there'll be kind of like a combined maintenance area for those nearby enclosures. So I haven't really done anything in there worth noting. But yeah, this is the Smilodon Sanctuary. Alright, that is going to do it for this episode. As always, I appreciate you checking this video out. I think the next one is going to be the woolly rhino, since we didn't get to see it in our preview. And then I'm going to do probably the Prehistoric, because that was kind of like our last viewer poll for what they wanted. And then, you know, early access was about to come out, so I didn't, I decided to hold off on enclosures. So probably the next one will be woolly rhino, and then the one after that will be the Prehistoric, because it won by a landslide. So that's definitely got to be like one of the old dinosaurs that I put in, as opposed to some of these new ones from early access. So yeah, as always, appreciate you checking this video out. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be back with more Prehistoric Kingdom real soon. Until then, have a good one.